The storm raged relentlessly that fateful night. Sheets of rain pounding the deserted parking lot of a roadside gas station, where the flickering neon open sign danced like fireflies on the slick asphalt. Picture this. A weary 35-year-old single dad named Daniel Hayes, behind the wheel of his battered Chevy truck, pulling in for a quick fill-up after another grueling double shift as a dedicated construction supervisor by day and warehouse loader by night. Daniel was no stranger to exhaustion. Every extra hour meant one step closer to covering the mounting costs of his 6-year-old son. Liam's critical heart surgery. Coffee was his lifeline, determination his fuel. But tonight, the weight of it all pressed heavy on his shoulders. Stepping out into the downpour, Daniel's eyes caught sight of a lone figure huddled under the station's awning, shoulders slumped in defeat. Through the blurry veil of rain, he made out a young woman in her late 20s. Her simple sundress, soaked and clinging to a swollen belly, she was clearly several months pregnant. Her dark hair plastered to her face. She sat on the cold curb, trembling not just from the chill, but from what looked like deep, silent sobs. Daniel paused, pump nozzle in hand, his mind screaming to hurry home to Liam, who was waiting with the babysitter. But something about her, that raw vulnerability, the way she cradled her arms around herself like a shield against the world, stirred a memory of his own rock-bottom moments. Scraping by after his wife's sudden departure years ago. After topping off his tank, he couldn't just drive away. Approaching cautiously, umbrella forgotten in the truck, he called out softly over the patter of rain. "Hey there, are you okay? Looks like you could use a hand or at least a dry spot to talk." She lifted her head, revealing a face streaked with mascara and tears, eyes that held a mix of sharp intellect and shattering heartbreak. Wiping her cheeks, she managed a weak smile. "I'm fine, really. Just ... one of those nights. Didn't mean to draw attention." Daniel crouched down to her level, ignoring the water seeping through his jeans. "No one's drawing attention out here except the storm. Name's Daniel. And if you don't mind me saying, you don't look fine. Sometimes a stranger's ear is the best." "Want to bend?" She eyed him warily at first, but there was a quiet sincerity in his voice, a steadiness that cut through the chaos. "I'm Sarah," she replied hesitantly. "And honestly, I don't even know where to start. My whole world's crumbling, and I feel like I'm drowning faster than this rain." He settled beside her on the curb, the fluorescent lights casting long shadows, as the storm showed no signs of letting up. "Sarah, I've been there drowning in worries about bills, a sick kid, and wondering if tomorrow will be any better. Sharing it doesn't fix everything, but it sure lightens the load. What's got you out here alone like this?" Her story tumbled out in waves, raw and unfiltered, as if the dam holding back her pain had finally burst. Sarah was the powerhouse founder and CEO of a thriving digital marketing agency she'd bootstrapped from her garage apartment 7 years ago. Smart, ambitious, and fiercely independent, she'd poured her soul into it, turning it into a multi-million-dollar operation. But that very afternoon, everything shattered when she uncovered the betrayal. Her fiancé and co-founder had been siphoning funds for months, funneling money into hidden accounts while plotting his exit. Worse, he'd confessed it all with cold indifference, admitting their engagement was a sham, a calculated move to seize control. "He called me foolish for believing in us," she whispered, voice cracking. "Said I'd lose it all if I fought back. And here I am, about to bring a child into this mess, with no home, no trust, and no clue how to pick up the pieces." Daniel's heart ached for her, this strong woman reduced to tears by someone else's greed. He thought of Liam, fighting his own battles, and how every setback had taught him resilience. "Sarah, that guy's not just a liar, he's a thief stealing more than money. He's trying to steal your spirit. But look at you, you've built an empire from scratch. That takes guts, brains, and heart. Trusting the wrong person doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. And right now, with that little one on the way, you've got more strength than you know." As the hours slipped by, the rain a constant companion, Sarah opened up more about her dreams for the company, her fears for the baby, the isolation of success that had blinded her to the red flags. Daniel listened without judgment, sharing bits of his own story. The endless nights worrying over Liam's medical tests, the joy of small victories like his son's first soccer goal, despite the odds. "Life throws curveballs," he said, "but I've learned you swing anyway. Start with what you can control. Get the facts. Rally the right people." "Have you reached out to a fraud specialist or an attorney?" She hadn't, too stunned to think straight. But Daniel's calm logic sparked something in her, a flicker of hope. In the weeks that followed, What began as a rainy night conversation evolved into an unlikely alliance. Daniel, with his no-nonsense problem-solving from years on job sites, became her sounding board. He encouraged her to dig into the records, hire forensic accountants, and build a case. Sarah, in turn, marveled at his quiet wisdom, the way he balanced fatherhood with unyielding optimism. Together, they uncovered the trail of deceit, emails, transfers, forged documents, all pointing to her ex's elaborate scheme. With solid evidence and a tenacious legal team, she not only reclaimed her assets but pressed charges, watching as justice unfolded. But it wasn't just about the business. In Daniel, Sarah found a partner who saw her not as a CEO or a victim, but as a whole person, worthy of real love. His kindness, free of strings, rebuilt her faith in humanity. And for Daniel, Sarah's drive and warmth filled the voids in his life, showing him that family could grow beyond blood. 6 months on, as Sarah's belly rounded with new life and her agency soared to new heights, expanding into eco-friendly campaigns that resonated across North America, she turned to Daniel in her sunlit office, where Liam now played in the on-site daycare they'd added for working parents. "Daniel, you've been my rock. I want you as my chief operating officer. Your instincts, your leadership, there, what this company needs." He chuckled, humbled. "Me? I'm just a guy who fixes buildings, not runs them." But Sarah persisted. "You're the guy who fixed a broken heart in a storm. You lead teams through chaos every day. And Liam will cover his surgery, top schools, everything. But more than that, he'll have a family, a sibling, stability, love." Years later, Daniel stood at the helm of the firm, now a leader in innovative marketing across Canada and the US, overseeing operations that blended creativity with community impact. Their home buzzed with laughter. Liam, healthy and thriving post-surgery. Little Emma, their spirited daughter, and another baby on the horizon. At their intimate wedding overlooking a serene lake, friends and family gathered under clear skies, reflected on that pivotal night. "I chased success thinking it was enough. Power, money, control. But true fulfillment came from a stranger's compassion, from building something real together." Daniel, with Emma giggling in his arms and Liam beaming nearby, added his own words. "I stopped to help because it's what you do when someone's hurting. Little did I know, I was gaining a wife, a partner, and a life richer than any paycheck." In the end, that stormy encounter reminds us all, life's fiercest tempests often hide the greatest gifts. When you extend a hand in kindness, without expectation, you might just rewrite your own story and someone else's. So next time you see pain in a stranger's eyes, pause. Your simple act could spark a chain of hope, proving that from the depths of despair, extraordinary joy can bloom. After all, in a world that moves too fast, true connection is the ultimate success.